everybody, welcome to Chump Blockers. I'm Alex, your fat fucking friend. I'm joined by Noah No More Corsets Plats.
Oh,
You like that?
I do, and I don't because I'm sort of sad because corsets are a great thing. We're going to talk about this.
It's been a while since we've done Chump Blockers. I wrote
Alex
that.
made that thing.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Well, usually CB stands for Chump Blockers, but today it stands for content.
child bums. What?
Bitches.
Oh,
Charred bums.
child bums. I
Child bums.
Never mind. Chump blockers.
Content
What?
bitches.
Content bitches.
We've got so much to talk about.
We really have.
You really fucked up my segue there. Cheers, dude. So, obviously, spoiler season's here.
Oh, it's coming.
But that's not the only big news.
No,
Recently.
we're going to move on to spoilers because the first thing we have to talk about is the metamorphosis of Standard,
Which
is like pretty damn huge. It actually changes probably everything.
it's such a big change that they had to do like information graphics on how
Yes.
it's going to work because
It's
so,
really different.
yeah.
And it is going to affect the way Magic is played. It's going to affect the way Magic works. It's going to affect how you interact with Magic, products that Magic produces, everything.
For the
Better.
I believe so.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, there are sad things coming for people who like corsets, drafting wise and things like that. But it means there are going to be more story-related blocks and more lore for people that like lore like myself. More cool story-driven blocks, and this is going to be so cool. But let's get going. Let's talk
So
about
just in case you do live in a cave, Mark Rosewater wrote an article, and before you jump on Mark Rosewater, what are you doing? Mark
it. That's
Rosewater.
quite a good impression.
Mark Rosewater is not Wizards.
He's not.
He's just the face, isn't he?
He is the face of Wizards. He's the little tiny little face of
What is
Wizards.
he? Is he like head of design
Yeah,
Yeah,
head of design.
or creative or whatever? But anyway, essentially, he has said that over at Wizards HQ, over at the mothership, for a while, there's been concern over a few things. One is where do the core sets fit? Who are they for? And they kind of we haven't got any notes in front of us or anything, but basically they said that it's not really for beginners or veterans.
No.
It's got not enough of either thing.
I feel like this was the best core set because they tried hard to make it fit in the story and tried hard to make it fit somewhere in the Magic universe, but it still isn't quite Innistrad, isn't quite Zendika, it isn't quite hitting the same thing. People aren't buying the product as much as they would other things, which it helps them on a sale level as well. But
So-
I mean, as you
So they
say,
were having problems. There were concerns over the core sets.
Yes.
What was the purpose of them? And then there's also a problem with the third set in a block.
is usually disappointing.
Well, the way that they put it is it's either the third set is a disappointment,
Yes.
or to make the third set good, the second set has to be a disappointment.
Which I think would have been, let's be honest, Dragon's Maze was awful.
Yeah.
From Ravnica, pretty much ruined it.
Born of the Gods is known to be poor.
Poor
I mean, Nyx was
okay, but
not a lot of people are bowled over by.
I mean,
Nyx.
basically, everything fell short. And what they're doing is a way in which they're trying to stop that from happening. They're trying to stop just throwing the shot put a little bit short of the line. They're just trying to push it a little more.
To be fair to Wizards, I think this is a reaction to people saying that Theros. I think this is a reaction to complaints towards Theros.
Probably.
And I think that they know that they could do better. And essentially what it all boils down to is the path that they've decided to take is to all blocks will now be 2 sets.
Large.
Yeah, as I understand it. And the core set will be scrapped, and that will become the second set of the second block of the year.
Yes.
So sets now 2 blocks, and rotations happen slightly differently.
Yeah, I mean, I will put up the graphics on screen in post so you can see, although it breaks Vegas every time I try to edit it. Because it's not the first time I've used these graphics, and I can assure you this crashed when I was making it. So you can laugh at me there. But I mean, as you can see on screen, it's a different rotary system, which means we get more story-driven content, really. And I think that's, for me, as someone who likes story, that's the big thing for me, is that they're scrapping a set that doesn't usually have story and giving us more story-driven content, which allows us to go into the world of Magic a bit better.
Yeah, rather than having... Because I said to you earlier, the core sets stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, you're right.
It just breaks everything up. I know it's kind of like it's like the midpoint between two sets, but
it feels like a separate product.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't, because when you are looking at story-driven content in Innistrad, Theros, Ravnica, you are going along with the story while you play the game.
Yeah.
New cards come out, you learn more about the area. M15 is just a jumble of things.
Yes.
Where is this set? What is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you'd know any story about M15 is if you've read any articles online or if you play Jewels of the Planeswalkers.
But then in M15, why are all the souls there? Soul of Chandelier.
Exactly. It's a jumble.
It's a jumble.
And I think they are looking to make Magic more of a cohesive world, and I think this is a really good way of doing it. So hopefully you can understand the graphics on screen. It's difficult to explain.
It is. We'll
but
try
I
our
hope we've sort of done it a bit of justice.
What I'd like to do though is I've been thinking a lot about this, and I want to address some of the criticisms.
Yes.
Okay, so number one, people complaining that this is simply a profit drive from Wizards. Probably.
But it's got to be. They're a business. In the back of their mind somewhere, there's got to be some profitability.
That's their prerogative as a business, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm self-employed.
Yes.
Yeah, if you've got a problem with that, I think you need to get realistic.
Yeah, you need to find a different game to play. This
far as
whole
I'm
thing
aware,
is profit-driven.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware. Well, you say that.
No, they know what people like and they give it to them.
The thing about Wizards is, we are lucky to have Wizards as players and fans of Magic.
They are a fantastic company.
I mean, you wrote a thing on Reddit about the kids that you did Magic Club with, and they sent you a load of free stuff.
No, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic.
If you did that to Games Workshop, they'd probably just send you
So they send you a letter and send you packing.
They'd send you paint filled with lead, probably
to kill the children.
And then would make models with lesser quality materials and charge you more for it, which is what they've been doing for years.
Yes, it is.
So, Wizards, I genuinely think, and I haven't got any sort of proof, but I genuinely think they care about their products.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to any Mark Rosewater podcast that he does the Drive to Work podcast, which I listen to a lot.
I listen to a few, yeah.
He genuinely gives a shit.
Yeah, he does.
Genuinely.
Of course he does. He sits on Tumblr constantly answering questions from people. This guy cares so much about the community. And this is as Alex is trying to get to, is not a reaction of just, we need more money, so this is a really good way to make money.
Magic is healthier than it's ever been, by all accounts.
We care. We want to make a game that's healthy for you and for us, and it does work. Yes, some of the products are a premium price.
Yes.
But what you're getting with it is the best TCG out there.
It's a point of pride for them, I think.
It is.
It's the premier TCG, as you just said.
Yes.
And they want it to be seen. I don't think they want their fans to be unhappy.
No.
Do you know how long the average person plays Magic the Gathering?
How long?
7 years.
Show
me a game that has that kind of retention. It's incredible.
That is good.
So that was the first complaint, the first criticism that I've seen bandied about a lot. The second one, I'm going to have to spend more money to stay in standard. If you're buying packs to get pulls to use in your decks,
you're doing it wrong. We open packs for the joy of opening a pack, seeing what you get. It's a gamble. It's like going to play poker. People don't go to play poker to win money.
Yeah.
They go for the experience and to have fun. If you're going to play poker to try and win money, you're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're going to in Magic the Gathering to make profit in any way, or just to open things so you can get that card that might have cost 20 but it's only cost you 3, you're doing it the wrong way.
Like, if you need 4 mythics for
don't
your deck,
open 4 packs.
Don't go and buy 400 packs.
Yeah, buy the mythics if you want them.
Or buy them or trade for them. That's the beauty of the game. And to be fair, Wizards have always supported the second-hand market.
Yes, very much so.
I don't really think that is a.
No, I don't.
I don't think that's a valid complaint.
I don't think it's valid.
And the thing is, you can pay as little or as much as you want. I mean, if you are like tier 1 pro tour player, if there is a difference, it's going to be negligible to you.
Yes.
If you are the guy who takes brews to F&M,
with us being 2 players like that,
it's not going to change much.
No. We trade for our decks. I mean, occasionally we'll buy a couple of cards. Yeah, but the cards we're buying aren't that expensive. They're a couple of quid at a time, maybe, for some of them.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we trade for our things. We open packs for fun.
Yeah.
you know, we don't open packs for profit. We open it for you guys mostly.
Yeah.
And so we can get high off the smell of a new foil Nissa. I really hope that shows
I
up.
just want to pull foil Nissa. That
Yeah,
just
but anyway.
shits on everything we just said.
Yeah.
It does. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, it's not sort of like the correct way to be doing it if you want to be competitive, and if not, then it doesn't really matter how much money you spend. You just have to spend it a bit.
Yeah.
And the third and final one, people complaining that rotations will happen more often.
Yes.
And I haven't done the mathematics, but rotations stuff will rotate out quicker.
Yeah, but not.
People have complained about that, right?
Yeah.
But and this is covered in Mark Rosewater's article. He quotes this, and I've heard him say it many times unrelated on his podcast. And this is one of the basic truisms of game design, and that is let the game finish before the players want it to.
Mm.
Because if it finishes after they want it to finish, they'll resent it.
Yes.
Right? With that in mind, how are you going to feel when Ravnica rotates out?
How will I feel personally?
Yeah.
I'll feel okay.
You're happy to see it go?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a sentiment shared with a few people?
Probably.
Well, then it's outstayed its welcome.
Yes,
demonstrably.
It has because so many cards in Ravnica were too powerful.
If people are thinking, I cannot wait for this to rotate out, I'm so sick of it.
It's a sentiment, backing up what you say perfectly. It's a sentiment we hear at FNM every week.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Ravnica rotates so I don't have to deal with X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Because the X, Y, Z are the strongest things in Standard.
But it's not just that, it's seeing the same cards and
it's
seeing the same decks all the time.
It is. It's going, and as well, even at the price point and things like that, going into a shop and seeing the same boosters over and over again.
Yes.
Even you last week, and we've not opened that much of M15, have said you were sick of opening M15.
Yeah, because it's all there is.
Yeah.
But it's a demonstrable thing that people, by and large, by the time that a set rotates out, they're fucking sick of it.
Yes.
Which is no good, which is actively against what Wizards themselves, or Mark Rosewater himself, has said is a basic tenet of game design.
Mm.
So that's sort of like how I handle the criticism. I think
the criticism is a lot of it in bad taste, and I think a lot of it is just because people haven't looked into it, personally. I think if you look into it and reflect on it like we have, and I'm sure other people have listening, that it is a good idea, that it works so well, and it's going to help the game be healthy, it's going to help it evolve. Like we're going to talk about this in one of our features we're going to come to soon, that Standard and Magic itself evolves over time, and it does keep moving and moving, and this helps it move even quicker. And you're going to be able to get so many more cards for your collection, and so much more buck for your bite, you know? I mean, you're investing to play Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
It's a game you have to invest in. Why not invest in a game that has more about it?
Yeah. The last thing that Magic, particularly Standard, the last thing that Standard needs is stagnation.
Mm.
Like, that would just be the death. So
Yes, it would.
To keep the ball rolling faster, I mean, if they feel like they can produce world after world after world after world, then I'm behind it 100%.
This is the criticism I come to, and this is one that I'm worrying about.
Okay.
Is that if the ball is rolling so quick, and they are pushing themselves to get all these great sets out, because they have to be great.
Yeah.
They have to be. If it's rotating
I mean, let's
this
be
much,
honest, like, core sets are like, how many reprints?
Yeah, they're like 80% reprints. Then, if they're pushing themselves to make... Yes, of course, this means more powerful things will be reprinted because they can fit in a world and not just be like, oh, we're just reprinting this in a core set because value.
Yeah.
Are they going to run out of steam on some sets?
Well,
Are some sets going to end up being Journey into Nyx? Are they going to end up being Born of the Gods, but just a whole set like that? It'll be a shame if that happens. I hope it doesn't. But I think there might be... Eventually, maybe not in the first rotation of this thing or the second, but maybe the third or the fourth. I think it'll start getting a little bit weary.
It's possible that they could start getting.
But I mean,
fatigued.
I've got all the faith in Wizards, in carrying on the fantastic work. But they've really got to. If they think they can do it and they think they can, go for it. And,
I mean, for lore hounds like you and me.
Oh yeah.
This is awesome.
I mean, we sit on Facebook many an evening discussing lore and saying, "Oh my god, how cool is this?" And it's amazing. I mean, we're going to come to some stuff in the spoilers.
Oh, don't get started on lore.
We're already going to it.
Holy shit.
We're going there soon, guys. Don't worry, we're getting to the spoilers. But, I mean...
On the whole...
It's good.
This metamorphosis of Standard, I think, is a good thing. I think because, personally, I know that I've had the... I've just noticed on your desktop that Minecraft is called Mein Kampf.
Don't tell them that.
In general, the metamorphosis is going to be a good thing. I've personally had the viewpoint that standard moves too slowly. It rotates too slowly. Stuff sticks around for too long. I'm not saying that week to week you need different cards, but I think at the minute it's just on the tipping point of like staying around too long
now. Yeah,
because I mean I think that's why people. I mean, you'll notice just before any new set comes out, people start getting pushed really far towards EDH.
Yes, they do.
A lot of people start building EDH decks and thinking about EDH, and that's because EDH is like no two game is the same.
Yeah.
The problem with standard is you're playing the same decks over and over again. I mean, even if your local FNM isn't just all tier 1 decks, nobody's building new decks every week.
No, I mean ours is sort of a tier 2 to tier. I think there's some tier 1
There's
stuff.
some tier 1. There's like blue, white control, mono black.
Yeah, but I mean it's mainly sort of tier 2/1. In the middle of those two, I'd say is pretty perfect.
It's quite. I should say that our FNM is quite a small play
It
group.
is a small play group, but people don't run different decks every week. I pretty much make a new deck every day, but I don't make them and take them to FNM. I mean, Alex knows I send him countless tapped out links and deck lists of things that I've made.
So sick of looking at that shit.
I know you are, but I don't care. I'm going to keep sending you them.
I'm not. It's enlightening.
It's enlightening how shit some of them are.
Yeah,
but some of them are great.
Yeah.
But you know, it will allow people to be more creative because there'll be more cards at your disposal. In a shorter period of time. It'll revolve and evolve, and you get to keep making new stuff, and you have to keep making new stuff if you want to do this.
Yeah.
It's going to keep it from being stale, as you said, and I think that's the big point. But if you want to learn more about this, go and look at the Metamorphosis, Making Magic.
Making Magic Metamorphosis on the Gatherer website. Read the whole article.
I mean, if you don't want to look in the description below, I don't know why you wouldn't. The link will be there, but I mean, if you want to, it's on August the 25th of 2014, so go check it out.
I'd read the whole article top to bottom, and if you don't agree with it, I think you're just being cynical.
Yes, I do. Anyway, moving on.
So, on to more like universally well-received news.
I mean...
Spoilers!
Oh, we've started. Spoiler season is upon us.
Kanzatake looks so good.
And oh my goodness, we are getting some honey badger shit. I don't even know what that means.
Honey badger shit.
Honey badger shit. But this looks like one of the coolest sets, and we say this every time there's a set, but this genuinely looks like the coolest set.
No, this really does.
This really does. I mean, we will go through them now.
I don't know where to start.
Where do we begin? Do we begin?
We can't start up at the top and peter out. We need to start at the bottom and go.
Let's start on the bottom.
Okay.
Let's start.
Well, let's start on a high.
Let's start on a high.
It's because something amazing has happened.
The onslaught.
Fetch lands.
Fetch lands are back. We've got windswept heath, flooded strand, polluted delta, bloodstained mire, and wooded foothills.
So
these are just. Oh my god, the value of these is like through the roof.
Modern just got a huge kick up the arse.
It did, but Modern also got a hell of a big new influx of players.
Yeah.
Because now people will be able to pull these, and they're rare. They're not mythic. I would have expected these to be mythic.
Yeah.
And they're rare, and that means people are going to pull them. People who have only played Magic for a bit are going to pull them and then think, maybe I can dip my toe into Modern.
Yeah, sure. It's going to make because I'm telling you, the thing that keeps people away from Modern,
Land bases mainly.
Yeah, expensive ass lands. It's the thing that keeps people away from anything other than Standard. Really,
is the expense of things.
But if you're playing Standard, I mean, how many goddamn pain lands have you pulled from M15?
A lot.
How many of these are you expecting to see? In knowing that,
a lot.
A lot. You're gonna get these. You're gonna get a play set of fetches.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. These are the allied coloured ones. And I mean, Mark Rosewater said he doesn't like incomplete.
Yeah, no,
cycles.
and you can that's demonstrable as well from if you just look at any set. If there's a cycle in it, it's usually complete. A block at least.
Yes. So make sure you keep your eye out open because I'm sure that the other cycle of these ones will come out.
Although having said that, we've got enemy pain lands.
Yeah, but this is a triple coloured set. People need the land fixing, and I mean, this looks like it's going to be an awesome set for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the art looks
Look at
great.
the art.
The art looks great.
Flooded strand. It looks so good.
They all look good.
They
all look good. They're all going to be great. We've heard arguments from certain people that these aren't going to be great in Standard, and I'm sorry, but they are.
Right.
We've heard people saying that they're just like Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanses. They're really not.
So we explain why fetches are so good.
Let's go quickly why they're good.
So a fetch land, what makes fetch land better than Evolving Wilds? Well, for a start, Evolving Wilds brings a land in tapped. Like, yes,
doesn't.
they both essentially fill the same role, but what's good about a fetch land is it takes lands out of your deck.
Yeah, so it basically means you've probably got about... You probably only need about half as many lands as you would usually put in. Because, I know you've got these things which would go and search for it, but you can search for a specific one. It doesn't come in tapped. And you've also got then Polluted Delta being a land, for example, and then you go and get a swamp or an island.
Yeah.
Which means Polluted Delta's a land, that's out your deck.
Yeah.
And now the swamp or the island's on the battlefield.
And
so you've essentially got 2 lands onto the battlefield.
Yes. So you get lands when you want them, and you've got less chance of turning over.
They're really good.
They're just amazing. I mean, they're not a legacy staple.
I mean, in Modern, the reason they're good is because they can go and get shock lands without having to pay a shock.
Yeah.
Because you can just pay 1 life, and obviously there, for example, Blood Crypt is a swamp and a mountain. So if you tap Bloodstained Mire, sack it, you pay the 1 life, you go and search for a swamp or mountain. That's a both swamp and a mountain, so it comes onto the battlefield. Means you get your double lands for 1 life, not 2.
Instead of 2, yeah.
So it's great. Moving on from these, because they're just fantastic, let's look at some artifact love. Now, we thought there'd be an artifact sub-theme.
Yeah,
it seems like
we're not the only people to have guessed that.
And it seems like there could be.
Our reasoning for that is the fact that they put just enough tools for a red, blue artifacts deck. Not a tier 1, mind you,
but they haven't pushed it.
But there's Chief Engineer, Scuttle and Doom Engine, Ornithopter, and Soul Artifact, Shrapnel Blast. All of these cards that just seem to revolve around that tactic.
Yeah.
But not enough
to make it
actually make a deck, because people have tried and it just doesn't really work because there's not enough good artifacts and therefore the deck isn't consistent enough.
Yes.
So we've guessed that maybe they're pushing towards some awesome artifacts being in cards.
Yes.
Or at least the block.
Yeah. Which would also suggest a return at some point to Zendika.
Yes, I've said this.
Which has got a little artifact sub-theme in there, equipment sub-theme.
So we've got 3 here, and they all do look pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's start with Lens of Clarity, because it brings us to Morph as well.
Yes.
So it's a 1-drop artifact, Lens of Clarity, and you may look at the top card of your library, and at face down creatures you don't control. You may do this at any time. Basically, Morph people put things as a face down 2/2 creature for 3 colourless mana.
Yeah.
And then they can turn them up for their morph cost. And we'll cover morph when we actually look at morph creatures.
Yeah.
But you can't see other people's morph creatures. So if you're attacking someone with, for example, a 4/4, and they've got a 2/2 morph creature face down, they block with a 2/2 morph creature, then pay its morph cost.
Turn it up.
It could be a 5/5.
Yes.
Your creature's dead. However, with Lens of Clarity, you can actually see what the creature is before you have to
no tricks.
attack. People can't trick you. This is going to be interesting. Is it going to be played in Standard? Depends how good Morph is. Is it going to be played in Limited? I would expect so.
It's common, so I think that they expect you to. They expect you to play it in Limited.
Also, it's not just face-down creatures that you can look at that you don't control. It's also the top card of your library, which is really useful because it allows you to think what you can do next turn.
It's awesome. It's just like Morph's there's going to be a lot of Morph flying around, and this is just a tool that they've given you. If you choose, can help.
While we're on Lens of Clarity as well, the artwork.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, get the Morph card back thing.
Okay, here it is on your left.
Yeah, and then we'll just put Lens of Clarity up next to that, and you can just draw your own conclusions on how awesome that is.
So basically, the morph has like a morph token you can put on the morph creature to show that it's not just a face down card.
Yeah,
it's
because
actually a thing.
we actually discussed this on how like inelegant it is. Morph is as a mechanic.
They've done as good as they can
because you like turn a card upside down and that looks poo.
Yeah, but now they've made a cool looking token.
They've made like a token that you can put on top of your morphed creatures.
Yeah, you can see it on screen now, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So
moving on to Dragon Throne of Tarkir, legendary equipment artifact. It's rare.
Yes.
It's 4 mana. Go on, you go through.
Equipped creature has Defender and
Defender sub-theme.
Yeah.
We said.
And pay 2 and tap. Other creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. This will see play in Fringe.
Do you reckon?
Someone will play it. Yeah.
Someone will play it because someone always wants to have that jank deck, and this is like one of those cards that will give you some crazy win.
Yeah.
Like other creatures, it's not just one creature you control gains that power; it's every creature. So it's like an overrun.
Mate, while Xenagos is in Standard,
Yeah, I mean,
this will probably see play.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I mean, it speaks for itself on how powerful it is because it's all other creatures you control get XX and trample.
Like all other.
All other.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine getting this in limited and just sticking it on like the biggest thing you have, and then every little tiny thing that you picked in your limited environment, and you just go, actually, no, these are now 6/6s.
Honestly,
I
think this is like not to be underestimated.
No, I think it'd be silly to underestimate it. You'll have to see whether it's in standard or not, but we both think it could make it. I think it's really cool. I mean, obviously it gives your biggest creature defender, but it makes everything else huge.
Yeah.
So don't think it's a downside because it's really not.
It's really not. I mean, what's the card that you use in your Snake? Overrun, is it?
I use Overrun, I use Overwhelming Stampede.
It's like similar to this.
It's similar to that, but I mean, you can continuously use it. It's not a sorcery. This is something that will stick around till it's removed, and it's pretty badass.
So, on to our first mythic, Legendary Artifact.
And here we go with the flavour,
guys. Oh, baby.
All at once, Sarkhan's mind fell silent.
It's Ugin's Nexus.
5 mana Legendary Artifact, and I'll let you go through this because I know you absolutely adore it.
If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. We'll go back to that in a minute.
We will.
If Ugin's Nexus would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, instead exile it and take an extra turn after this one. Extra turns is not.
Can we just quickly go? Ugin. Fucking
Ugin's
around.
spirit skeleton.
Ugin's spirity skeleton is around, and if you don't know about Ugin, go check him out on the Magic the Gathering wiki. He has loads to do with Zendika and the Eldrazi.
Yep.
This block is all about time travel, and so
I tell you what, we'll try and sort of cover all the plot points as we get to the cards about who's come looking for Ugin and what they've found.
Yeah, but as you can see, Ugin is
dead.
His skeleton is there, and Sarkhan, who speaks to Ugin in his mind, can't hear him anymore. So, what's happened? What's going on? Who's killed Ugin? We'll find out. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips their next turn instead. So very cool.
Yeah, time walk abilities aren't. They're not rare. They are about.
And I know we talk about things being it's not going to be good in this, we're good in EDH. This is going to be great in EDH.
It's going to shut down all like unlimited turn combos.
It basically says F off blue because stop giving yourself unlimited turns.
Yeah.
Because this just says no, you can't.
Obviously,
I can see a place in standard. I want to run this in something.
People try and run it in any potential artifact deck.
You came up with things. Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah, I was researching the rulings on it earlier,
which still works. We discussed this earlier on.
Yeah.
Shrapnel Blast will still work if you sacrifice this.
Yeah,
even though it exiles.
The sack exiles, but it's still a sack, so you still get the 5 damage.
Yeah, so you'll get an extra turn. But this thing's just cool. The art's amazing. It's going to be worth £1 million in foil.
And let's just discuss. They've printed this artifact in this set, which is assumed to be about time travel.
Yes.
The next set is called Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
Yes, it did.
That's been confirmed.
Announced today. Yeah.
So Fate Reforged, obviously, that has connotations of like time travel and stuff.
Yeah.
Ugin is dead, and really, for the purpose of the story, shouldn't be.
Yeah, he really shouldn't be.
There's going to be dragons in this set. It's Tarkir, it's the land of the dragons. Basically, we're going to go back in time.
And think about a certain dragon that's been plotting things in the background for a while in every single set you ever know.
Grixis
everything
bitches.
That's happening. It's the Grixis Lord himself. Nicol Bolas is going to be around. It's dragons. And he's got a lot to do with it.
Ugin's in it, Sarkhan's in it, Nicol Bolas is going to be in it. But also, anyway, back to my point. So time travel is 99.9% going to be involved in this block. And can you think of an ability in Magic that utilises the idea of time travel?
A couple.
Time walk.
Yeah.
There's going to be take an extra turn effects in this block.
There probably will be. I also expect to see possibly split second.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it has time things. It has about stopping time, and you can only do this. Mm-hmm. And I think the time travel element is perhaps saying maybe split second might be around, because we've only seen that once, and I think it's really cool.
So this has been printed to specifically stop extra turns. It's a time travel set.
Yes.
Time travel is going to be in the block. There's going to be some kind of extra turn abilities.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not shy about printing those. I mean, only earlier we were looking at that miracle card from Avacyn.
Yeah, Temporal Mastery and Sage of Hours has been printed recently.
Yeah.
They print things all the time. They give people extra turns. They're just very difficult to get.
Yeah.
But in formats where they aren't difficult to get, Ugin's Nexus will shine, but expected to see standard play it somewhere.
Okay, shall we move on to our first... My cat's going mental.
What's wrong?
I think she's finding a moth.
Okay.
Should we move on to our first Planeswalker?
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Let's wait to the Planeswalkers.
Okay, let's go story then. Bitter Revelation. No. I want to do that after. End hostilities. Go.
End hostilities. 3 mana and 2 white, 5 mana in total sorcery. Destroy all creatures and all permanents attached to this creature. Talk about a board wipe. This thing's ridiculous. Her palm flared like the eye of a waking dragon, then all was calm.
So this
bad ass.
This pushes us right. This lends itself really well to our equipment idea.
Yeah, equipment idea
and bestow creatures.
This board wipe is just ridiculous.
I said to somebody on Facebook earlier, we were talking about it. Well, we weren't. We were both commenting on something, but
yes.
He said that this is obviously for bestow creatures, but I think this will be for bestow creatures in this standard and for equipment in the next.
Possibly, very possibly. The artwork's cool again
because it's useful now and it will be useful then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. End hostilities as well. I mean, it's cool name, cool art, cool flavour. Does what you want it to do. Destroys all the things. It's nice to see another really competitive whiteboard wipe.
Five's not unreasonable.
Five's not unreasonable, and for that effect, it's really not unreasonable. It's really good because it stops bestow. It doesn't mean the bestow's going to drop off because it destroys them before they even get a chance to hit the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've looked at the awesome fetch lands. Let's move on to a couple of the uncommon cycles of lands because obviously with 3 colours going around, land's going to be really, really important. We've only got 2 to look at. We've got Mystic Monastery,
which is Jeskai.
Which is the Jeskai way. Enters the battlefield tapped and adds blue, red or white to your mana pool. And we've got the Nomad Outpost from the Mardu, which is Sarkhan's old clan.
Yeah, Sarkhan's former clan.
Which adds red, white or black, or as he used to know it, Dagger.
Yeah.
So these are great because getting them in draft or limited events, sealed, are going to be fantastic to fix your mana. You're going to need to fix mana. You're probably not going to pull fetch lands all the time.
If you were going to guess one, as soon as they announced that this was a shard set.
Yeah,
this was a
it's like a guild gate, but just taps for 3 of the colour. It's perfect. It does what guild gates do. It fixes your mana. Yes, they come in tapped, but you can add 3 colours, not just 2.
Yeah,
which makes them better than guild gates.
Yeah,
they look cool. They will have the flavour in them because it ties to one particular clan each. So obviously they're all going to look and read flavourfully.
Yeah, the art is stunning as well.
Spot on. Again, with a lot of these cards, foils of these stuff is just going to be amazing. I mean, I've been really impressed recently with Wizards' new foiling methods.
Yeah.
They foil certain parts of things instead of just foiling
the whole thing,
or just big blocks of things. They just foil very specific things. You can imagine on the Mystic Monastery one that they just foil the whites of the building, so it picks up the light, or the Nomad Outpost, you'll get those red flags.
Red streaks.
Yeah, and it'll just look fantastic. But those things are really, really useful.
Absolutely fantastic. So we've got Ivory Tusk Fortress. Why don't we talk about that little beauty?
Interesting one, because I think it's really good actually. So we've got 2, 1 white, black and green, and you get a massive elephant.
I mean, 5/7 for 5 is already pretty good.
I mean, it's going to be good in limited just for the body because 7 toughness is going to be 9 impossible to either burn or
limited,
block.
absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's a rare, but if you get it, snap that bitch up.
But untap each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it during each other player's untap step. So
that's good.
One of the new mechanics is to do with a +1/+1 counter sort of production thing.
Outlast, which we'll get to
later on. So this is like sort of a sort of
like an enabler.
Yeah, I mean it enables +1/+1 things to be a bit better. I mean it's going to be used in sort of Garv ADH decks. I mean +1/+1 counters flying all over the place. It's going to be awesome in EDH.
Yeah.
But I mean it's not quite as good as some things we've got to untap stuff. For example,
Profit Crucifix
is a lot better than this.
Yeah,
but it isn't a 5/7.
No.
So I mean, which one would you prefer? I prefer the Prophet just because you're allowed to play fast creatures and things.
Yeah, you can.
But in limited, I'd prefer this.
Oh yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
it's fucking huge.
It's just a big body.
It's just
and
huge.
that's a build around me ability. We
Yeah.
don't know what the rest of the set will have, but like chances are that there'll be some kind of build around going there. And the art's fantastic. Again, I've got to say, just so we don't end up saying it on every single card, the art on every single one of these cards is flawless.
Yeah, I mean the artists and the people who have told the artists to go in certain directions have done an absolutely fantastic job.
And they're
really good.
What I really like about this, just before we move on, is the way they capture like the sort of like Genghis Khan, like what are they called?
The Mongols.
The Mongol
and
horde.
the Huns and the.
But also
like
like the Jeskai have got like that.
the sort of Oriental, very old Oriental style,
yeah.
like the samurai sort of thing.
But then this white card over here, which
Saracens and things like that.
yeah, Saracens and like Persians.
Yeah,
and
it's
that kind of
really
thing.
cool.
They've really captured it quite well. But anyway, just off topic there.
Yeah.
So let's go on to a couple of just creatures that have got some of the new abilities.
Yeah, let's have a look at Raid with Mardu Heartpiercer.
Yeah, Raid's a really interesting ability. I like.
I quite like it. 2/3 for 4 mana. Raid is one of those sort of abilities where it's a keyword rather than a mechanic. It sort of does something, but does something different on pretty much every card.
Yeah.
But has when X creature attacks.
Yes.
Enters the battlefield. If you attacked with a creature this turn, that's the thing that's going to be on every single one of Raid.
Yes.
But so this one says when Mardu Heartpiercer enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, it deals 2 damage to target creature or
It does
player.
a shock. It's a shock.
It does a
for the
shock.
creature.
I think it's quite cool. A 2/3 that has a 2 shock thing as it comes in.
And what I really like about Raid is it sort of enforces playing creatures in the second main phase,
Yes.
which is like usually the more sensible thing to do unless you
And
need.
also newer players don't usually do it.
Yeah.
And so I think it makes them. That's
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, Mardu
Also,
Heartpieces.
it makes people want to attack more as well, which is
Yeah.
what the Mardu Horde want to do.
Well, it's red. It's red as
It's
hell.
red. It is red as hell.
So in limited, this is really good. I mean, it's a 2/3 for 4, but with
upside.
a shock involved,
With a shock upside.
on top of it. So
It's good. Play them in limited. It's an uncommon for a reason.
I don't think a 2/3 for 4 is ever going to make it in standard, shock or no.
No.
But
Limited, definitely. Very high pick in limited for sure.
this is where we start going good and limited, good and limited, good and limited.
Well, you've got to. Mardu Skull Hunter will stay with the Mardu clan. A 2/1 enters the battlefield tapped for 2 mana. I never liked the enters the battlefield tapped.
But you do like Tormented Hero. So.
But I love Tormented Hero because of madcap skills.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, so Mardu Skull Hunter's raid is whenever Mardu Skull Hunter enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, so there's that caveat again. Target opponent discards a card. This is not as quite as good as Mardu Heartpiercer.
No, but it's like a strict upgrade to something like Black Cat.
Yeah.
You know, it discards when it comes in.
It's got a higher attack.
It works with Waste Not, but flog that dead horse.
No, we really don't.
Waste Not is a fun card.
Fun card, but let's not flog it. Mardu Skull Hunter, not great, but looks cool and it's better than Black Cat.
Yeah.
Go ahead with the next ability.
Jeskai Elder. So the next ability, which belongs to the Jeskai clan, is it?
The Jeskai Way, I think.
The Way, yeah, that's right. The Jeskai Way.
This one's actually really, really good.
Yeah, it is. So it's it is. So it's a 1/2 for. So it's one and a blue.
Yeah.
For a 1/2 creature human monk with prowess. And what prowess says is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
So we're talking enchantments, sorceries, instants, artifacts.
Planeswalkers even.
Yep.
Anything that isn't a creature, it gets +1/+1. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. This is a really good card.
I think it might see standard play.
I think so. I think
it's really, really good.
In blue, most turns, it's going to be a 2/3 for 2.
And most of the time in blue, if you're attacking in blue decks, which is what this sort of pushing it for, is there's going to be a lot of evasion, a lot of unblockability sort of stuff going around.
Don't forget that this is still going to be the standard that has Master of Waves, Thassa.
Exactly.
There's still going to be a blue deck which revolves around small creatures swinging.
And blue likes filtering, and if you
Yeah.
draw a card, discard a card is pretty good. Pretty good indeed. It also is going to work with the delve mechanic as well, which we'll come to later
Yeah.
on. The discarding a card thing works really well with delve, and
Absolutely.
it is in the delve the Sultai Brood colours
Yes.
because it's blue. So I mean, maybe a cross-pollination thing with the Jeskai Way.
We don't know. This is so exciting.
This
though,
is why
isn't
it's
it?
exciting.
I feel like that when Khans comes out, there's going to be so many sort of like puzzle pieces that you can put together to.
That's the thing.
So anyway, moving on to the next card before I completely mark out.
Another one that I really like. This is really
Herald of Anafenza. It's white for a 1/2.
Already good.
Yeah, already, absolutely. It's a human soldier, so all your little preeminent captain boys can get crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's got Outlast, which is our next new ability. Now, Outlast is it's an activated ability. You pay 2 white and tap. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature, only as a sorcery. I'd really just struggle to get through that.
Yeah.
Whenever you activate Herald of Anafenter's Outlast ability, put a 1/1 white warrior creature token onto the battlefield. So, for 2 white and tap, you get a 1/1 counter on this guy who's already a pretty good body.
Yes.
And you also get a 1/1 white warrior creature token.
I think it's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good.
It's going to be an absolute... If someone can't remove it straight away, Limited is going to be stupidly good.
Yeah.
Because Limited loves mana sinks, and this is quite a cheap mana sink to get a 1/1 creature token and a +1/+1 counter on a guy that's already got a decent body for a 1 mana.
And obviously, as we said before, this is the ability that can kind of work with Ivory Tusk Fortress, from what we know so far.
It is indeed. Then you untap him, and then you can do the Outlast ability on someone else's turn.
I mean, putting counters on stuff is
it's a
awesome.
sorcery, sorry, isn't it?
It's
so
only as a sorcery.
Only as a sorcery, so it can only be on your turn. But I mean, it's still very good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Still very good. I really like it.
And also, I will point out that the Outlast ability here, you must always tap.
Yes.
Yeah, to do
I think because the tap ability's in the reminder text, I believe it's always tap.
So it's Outlast 2. Yeah, Outlast 2 white, but then because the tap symbol is not there, it's in the reminder. So all Outlast creatures are going to have to tap to get the counters.
It's a bit of a downside, but to make things bigger and to get the extra abilities on stuff, which we'll come to later, things with +1/+1 counters get extra stuff. It's going to be good.
Lordy, we've still got so much to look through. I'm so happy.
Really
Look at this. Look what I'm pointing at.
Oh, we're going to go on to that now. Sure. Surely we've got
Necropolis Fiend.
Oh, this
7
is a beast.
BB for a 4/5. That's shit. I heard you say it. It's got Delve.
Oh.
Now, Delve.
Oh my god.
Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1 colourless mana.
Now, don't confuse this with like allowing things like Convoke to be very similar to this. People have thought, oh yeah, I can also pay for the black. You can't. It only does 1 colourless mana. You can't pay for the black. So the cheapest this can cost is 2 black. If you exile 7 cards, for example, when you play this spell, you only have to pay 2 black for a 4/5 flyer.
Yes.
Just for an example.
He also has the ability X tap. Exile X cards from your graveyard. Target creature gets -X until end 2.
It's cool. I mean, the only downside I have to it, and the only downside there is to it, because a 4/5 flyer for potentially 2 black is pretty decent, but it's fighting against itself with its ability. Yeah. Because you play it and you want to play it as cheap as possible for a 4/5 flyer.
But then you've emptied your
graveyard. And then you've emptied your graveyard. Although in the Sultai sort of mechanics, there's probably going to be a lot of self-mill.
Well, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to their elder sort of thing, their brood elder.
I know that people are well happy to see Delve come back.
Delve was a future sight thing.
Delve's been an archetype, but like it's only been in the one set. But people have built decks around it for ages. As competitive modern decks use Delve. It's
going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. Let's go on to 1,000 Winds.
Okay, sure. So this is our first morph creature.
This thing's really good.
So it's 4 UU for a 5/6 flyer, which
already limited wise you'll play that.
Oh yeah.
That's a Mamahoti Djinn straight off, just as it is.
So
it's great.
It has morph. Now, if you're unfamiliar with morph always has the same deal. Okay, you can pay 3 colourless and play this card as a 2/2 creature face down, and then you can pay its morph cost to turn it face up. Now his morph cost is 5 UU.
So 1 more expensive than his actual cost.
So,
however,
when 1,000 Winds is turned face up, return all other tapped creatures to their own owner's hands. So
get out of my face.
Just imagine you put it down and your opponent's thinking, "What the hell is that?" They swing in.
And you go, back to your hand. And you
just go, and I'll just turn it face up.
If they alpha strike you with this thing down, it's so... I mean, imagine how bad they feel.
It's an overloaded Cyclonic Rift on a 5/6.
And then next turn you've got a 5/6 to swing at their face with. This thing is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, you will see this across the table, taking names and punishing little noobish people at limited events because it is stupid. It's so good. I
just love the idea. This is morph just all over.
Snap picking draft. Absolute first
I love
pick.
the idea of just like waiting for the perfect time and then boom.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I mean,
fantastic.
it's nuts card. It is a win and will slam if I've ever seen one in rare. It's fantastic. Standard play, who knows? Because it depends. It depends if blue can actually get up to that mana.
Standard
reliably.
might slow right down once Ravnica comes out because Ravnica is
Exactly.
so powerful.
And this will have to be slowed because of the amount of colours that are in it, and
Exactly.
you have to fix yourself. So
Exactly.
Thousand Winds, let's not hold our breath and say it will see standard
Let's
play,
not write it off quite.
but let's
yet.
not write it off.
How about we look at Crackling Doom?
Let's do it.
The Mardu instant.
This is pretty cool.
It's a cool effect.
I really like this.
So you go ahead.
It's one of each of Mardu's colours, which is red, white, black. Instant speed, Crackling Doom deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures he or she controls.
Now, late game, this could be devastating.
It could.
Devastating.
2 damage to their face, fine, but also getting rid of their biggest creature.
I mean, if somebody's playing Battlecruiser,
yeah,
this is big. And, like, enchantment decks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like white enchantment sort of like weenie, but you
when
bump
they
it up with auras.
put everything onto one thing.
Yeah, I mean, that just ruins this.
It really does. I mean, and this thing as well, the fact that it's sacrifice, not destroy.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a
So
creature, so
even
it gets around indestructibility, it gets
around
around
gods.
hexproof. If you know, I mean, because you don't target that creature, they have to sack it.
Yeah, online gods go.
Online gods, and if people are, you know,
I mean,
if people are really
play-
investing in a big creature, it's gone.
Play this against mono green at the right time.
Oh yeah, it screws it over completely.
Yeah.
It really does. And instant speed as well. If they're attacking with their biggest thing and you do this in response to their attack,
Bye bye.
see you in a bit. And then it comes back around to you and you've got a whole turn to do something else.
Exactly.
It's great. I mean, I think this will definitely see play.
I think
Definitely.
so. I think so. I
Definitely
mean, it's
see play somewhere.
it's 3 for 2, which is kind of the wrong way round for a burn spell. But I mean,
To get rid of their biggest threat.
it's sideboard
And shock
it's
them.
easy sideboard.
Sideboard easy, but it could even see mainboard depending on how good the Mardu plan becomes.
Yeah, sure.
Because you need to fix that mana.
How about the very first card that was spoiled? How about Rattleclaw?
Rattleclaw Mystic.
Well, it wasn't the first card that was spoiled at all.
I
But
think
how about
it-
we look at Rattleclaw?
Well, yes. It was. Well, I mean, this is just ridiculous.
You
Like,
love this
I
card.
love this thing. I mean, it's a 2/1 for 2. Anyways, that's a good body.
Yeah, sure.
Taps to add green, red, or
Blue.
to your mana pool. You can morph it down for 2. So you can. Its morph cost is 2. So you can pay 3 and make it a 2/2 creature.
Yeah.
You can then flip it over for 2, and when it is turned face up, you add the mana that it can tap for all in one go to your mana pool.
Yes.
It's nuts.
It's awesome.
It's nuts. I mean, it fixes mana in that thing. I mean, we haven't seen that clan's instant 3 mana spell because I'm guessing that's going to be a cycle.
That's going to be a cycle.
The
absolutely
Crackling
is.
Doom thing is
Yeah,
going
it
to
will.
probably be a cycle. You instantly set yourself up for that. It depends how good that spell is, but I mean that's cool because he's like he's the Rattleclaw thing. So that's I love that. But also it's.
I think the use of this card might not be like obviously apparent,
But it's cool.
but I think it's going to be
it
useful.
fixes. Even in its normal state, it fixes. It doesn't enter tapped, so that's always good because
Yeah.
a lot of things that can produce mana sometimes enter tapped, or they're just not. They don't produce multiple colours of things.
I mean, the turn you morph it,
Mm.
you're up 1 mana anyway, so it's got like that slight amount of ramp.
Yes.
And 1 mana of any colour
Mm.
in that
Yes.
clan. So, time will tell. Time will tell.
It depends. It depends again how good those colours are.
But I really like the idea behind it a lot.
Yes, I do. I think it's a good card. Let's move on to June Blast.
I absolutely love June Blast. I love the art. I love the flavour text, and I don't see this very often. But I absolutely love the rules text on this card, the way it's written.
Yeah.
So
It's so blunt.
June
and it
Blast
needs to be.
June Blast is 4 white BG, WBG I should say. So it's a 7 cost sorcery. Choose up to 1 creature, destroy the rest.
So
I
blunt.
love that. Just
So
destroy the rest. But that sort of starkness works with the flavour text, which I love.
And they are. I mean, the Absan turn to the spell only as a last resort, for its inevitable result is what they most dread, to be alone.
I mean, and you can imagine this is sort of like the Hollywood moment where they decide to drop the nuke and everyone's really sad about it.
Mm.
It's like destroy
It
the
is a
rest.
nuke. Yeah.
Like
press the
just-
button, and you do press the button.
I think it's like a decent take on a it's like a new decent take on a board wipe as well.
Because you get to keep your creature.
Your 1 creature.
Your one creature that's
and
biggest.
it's in green, so
Yeah, you're going to be getting something big. This will be awesome limited. Awesome. I mean, I don't usually like playing board wipes in limited at all.
no.
But to get rid of all their threats,
Yeah.
all the little things and keep your biggest thing and hit them in the face with it,
Yeah.
that turn.
7 mana is a hell of a lot.
7 mana is a lot, but with the amount of mana fixing you're going to need, both people are going to need limited, that's probably going to make this a bit more affordable. Definite limited play, definite EDH play, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not standard because it's too expensive,
Yeah.
and there's better board
And
wipes.
there's already a better board wipe in standard.
Yes.
But
But anyway, let's move on to some more awesome cards.
So we've got-
oh my word, there's so many good cards.
so
already.
let's look at Enoch Bondkin.
That's the ones, Inox. I was trying to
the
tell you
Inox,
earlier what they
the
were
dog
called.
guys.
The Hound Soldiers.
Right, so it's 1W for a 2/1 with Outlast again, and this one's Outlast cost is 1W and a white, so the same cost as COD. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has first strike. So this is really playing into the hands of there'll be a +1/+1 counter theme in white.
And this is what I was saying about their +1/+1 counters matter thing, and
Yeah.
there's going to be like extra abilities for +1/+1 counters. This thing, I've got a feeling,
Woohoo!
as if we did that.
This is common as well.
It's
a common card.
which means draft. Someone's going to draft it
Yeah.
heavily and go around Enoch Bonkin and its familiars.
The fact that this is common really makes me think that there's a deck based around counters.
And I think it's going to see standard play because of that.
Yeah.
It's a 2/1 body for 2 that has quite a cheap Outlast, and it gives its whole team that has +1/+1 counters. And if you're playing the Outlast deck, or if you're playing a +1/+1 counter deck,
Yeah.
because make no bones about it, it's not just going to be Outlast that's putting 1/1 counters on things.
No.
There's going to be other things too.
Of course.
And everything has first strike. It's nuts.
I mean,
It's
there's
cool.
stuff in Theros that puts 1/1 counters on stuff.
There is indeed.
The satyrs with you target them and they put 1/1
Reap
counters
what
on
is
things.
sown.
Reap
Told
what's
you, man,
sown.
don't overlook my reap what is sown.
Yeah, I mean that works really well, and it's like it's white green.
Imagine,
right? So
imagine if there's another couple of creatures, in that clan's colour that do things with +1/+1 counters. So, for example, imagine if one gives them hexproof, and imagine if one gives them trample, and you reap what is sown and get every single one of them.
And you basically at that
you
point,
tea-
basically at that point you've got like a tighter slivers deck.
Yeah.
Because obviously the problem with slivers is that you have to splash out across all 5 colours if you want to make it anywhere near good.
Yes, you only have to stay in 3 colours for this,
Would he stay in possibly
Or
2
two.
from what we've seen so far?
or even 1. Who knows?
and
Mono white.
and potentially have like a different take on tribal, which I think that's really
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, so Dragon Style Twins. This is a rare. This is
badass art, badass card.
It's
Love it.
3 RR for a 3/3, but it's got double strike and prowess. And as a reminder, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So
All I'm going to say is a burn deck with this thing at the top
Oh,
end
baby.
is absolutely ridiculous.
so
it's nuts.
This guy's ready to attack, shock something. This becomes a 4/4 swing for 8.
Yeah, I mean, let's. I mean, I think there'll be the mono red deck will have this at top end.
Oh,
The
sure.
reason
I mean,
why
it
is
looks
because
very good.
burn spelling their blockers and then giving this guy, for example, if they have 2 blockers, you use 2 burn spells
Yeah.
to get rid of their 2 blockers. You've then got a 5/5 double strike.
Oh, because the prowess stacks.
It stacks and it's mental. The art is again amazing. We need to stop saying that. They knocked it out of the park with everything. But this thing's stupid. We'll see standard play. I'm gonna actually.
I mean,
I'm
so
actually gonna go on a limb and say this will see top tier.
this will
play.
see standard play.
I
Absolutely,
think top tier.
So you've got
Genuinely.
5 red mana. You've cast this. So that means you've got open mana for lightning strike, magma jet, magma spray, which is only 1.
Yeah.
So you could any burn. If you manage to get 3 burn spells off.
If you untap
this
with
is
this, if you untap with this, and you've got cards in your hand, and they're not playing counter spells,
If you
Call it a day.
manage to cast 3 burn spells before this attacks, it's attacking for 12
ow!
total.
Yeah,
and double strike is such a good ability.
It pisses all over first strike.
Oh god!
It makes first strike look like a retarded cousin that you found under the stairs.
I mean, what's the white card in Theros that's got double strike, and it's like it doesn't see
Fabled
play.
Hero.
Fabled Hero. It doesn't see play, but it's so good.
It really is.
Um,
And whenever I play Fabled Hero, because I have played it a few times at FNM, it absolutely destroys
rapes.
my face. It
Rapes.
really does. But let's move on before I shit my pants to shambling attendance.
So it's 7 and a black for 3/5. It's got delve though.
And
So-
Death Touch.
And Death Touch. So this is pretty. There's not much to say about it really.
No, you basically need to delve because otherwise
yeah.
you're paying a lot.
Other than this clearly indicates how hard they're going for delve, because they're basically saying you can have this alright creature if you delve real hard.
But it also says, because it's that difficult to get out, I know it's only a common,
yeah.
But because the delve, because the cost of the card without delve is so high, surely there's going to be a lot of stuff that puts things into your graveyard. I wonder which Planeswalker we've seen that's on colour with that clan. Jace. Everyone said Jace was terrible, and I said, in fact, even you said that we're going to go to graveyard stuff in this deck. Delve's the graveyard mechanic. It's in colour. Jace draws a card and puts things into your... It's so good.
It's so good.
So Jace is gonna start making delve decks even better, and Sharon.
So yeah, Dimir
awesome.
possibly getting like a big boost.
Yeah.
So you go on to the next one, my friend.
Mardu War Shrieker. 3/3 for 4, which is fine. In limited, always good.
It's a common as well.
It's a common, always good. Pick 'em high, because when Mardu War Shrieker enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, add red, white, black to your mana pool.
So the basic idea being that if played correctly, this is a 3/3 for 1.
Yeah. It's a 3/3 for 1, and then you can also spew some else out.
Yeah, like
you can Crackling Doom.
If
you can just Crackling Doom straight up.
So this is good. This is good for a common, I think.
It is good.
And
good body for what it is in red, because red struggles sometimes with decent toughness creatures. 3 toughness is fine.
3's fine. It gets out of the way of things like Magma Jet. And
it does.
Bile
Blights.
Bile Blights, yeah.
And also
Bile Blight would get this. 3. It's -2, -3.
Oh, Bile Blight. Sorry. What was I thinking of? -2, -2. Drowning Sorrow.
Drowning Sorrow is -1/-1.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? -2, -2.
Like Nyx Infusion. Is -2, -2.
I don't know. Anyway. Whatever I'm thinking.
Anyway, 3/3's a decent body. No one's
yeah.
going to argue with that. It's a pretty good body, especially in red. And
Orcs. Woohoo!
Yeah, baby.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, play this at the right time. You can get a 3/3 for 1 as long as you've got something else to put that mana into. That's good value.
Heir of the Wilds. I love it.
Yeah, you do. So
he just looks like a big fat bitch, though. Doesn't he? Look at him. Look at him with his tusks, where his tit should be.
Oh, he's got titty tusks.
Don't want that.
Heir of the Wilds is 1G for a 2/2 with Death Touch and Ferocious, which we haven't even looked at.
No.
Ferocious is the last ability. So
I think this is the only Ferocious card they've spoiled.
Possibly. I haven't seen any more.
No.
So Ferocious is the ability of... I don't know which clan that is. It'll pop on the screen now. Whenever Heir of the Wild attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Heir of the Wild gets +1/+1 till end of turn.
It's got Death Touch. It's a 2/2 for 2 with Death Touch. Play it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good. And in mono green, I can even see this being played. Mono green is making, as we thought, quite a decent splash.
Yeah.
It's seen at top tier. It's seen at F&M. I mean, at least 5 decks are running it, or F&M.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heir of the Wilds plays right into the hands. If played right, it's a 3/3 Death Touch. For 2, it's great.
Yeah, that's great.
I think
early game it's good. Late game it's just a little bit better.
Yeah.
So,
but early game it does what green wants to do, because it wants to stave off the very early threats, and Heir of the Wilds does that.
And it's any creature with Death Touch that has more than 1 toughness is good.
Yeah.
Because the main problem with Death Touch usually is that it'll block something but always die. It'll always kill something but always die.
This might not always die.
Yeah, exactly. So this next card here is that's probably my favourite art. I know we're banging on about the art.
Oh my god, I love it.
I think this is my favourite art.
I love the card. I just love it.
Ice Feather Avon.
This is, what?
Bird Tribal is real.
Bird Tribal is real. 2/2 flyer for 2 mana, 1 green, 1 blue.
And it has more.
I could stop there and I'd be playing this.
That's good.
I could stop there and I'd be playing this in every single limited deck I could get my hands on.
2/2 flyer for 2 is great, crazy house.
Play it straight away in limited just for that. However, you can cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3, and then you can morph it for 1 green and blue. And when it's turned face up, you can return. You may return another target creature to its owner's hand.
It's like a bounce on a creature, man. It's good.
Bounce on a creature on a 2/2 flying body, and because that and do you know the creatures that you morph don't even have spell sickness if you've morphed them before, because they're already on the battlefield. Spell sickness doesn't even happen. I thought it would, and I read this yesterday that spell sickness doesn't happen. So you bounce their creature and hit them for 2, or bounce something else that you want to remorph back to your hand.
You've got a 2/2 flyer for 3, but it has built-in bounce.
That's good. It's nuts. Play it.
It's good. It's a
play
good
it
trap.
limited.
It's a
I'd
very,
possibly
very
see
good
standard play.
I think so. It's a very good trap.
If green and blue get there, it's good.
Howl of the Horde, a rare sorcery, 2 red. Now, this is a bit of an odd one. Chandra does this all the time, but when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
So it's like a reverberate.
Yeah.
But
Raid on a sorcery.
I know, yeah.
If you attacked with a creature this turn, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell an additional time, so you get 2 copies. 3 total.
Burn decks.
Burn decks are going to love this card.
Yeah.
Burn decks are going to absolutely love this card.
Because if say for example, you played this...
you can convoke... Stoke the what's it called?
Stoke the Flames.
Stoke the Flames. You can convoke that crap if you've got enough creatures out. So that's not even mana intensive. That's like 4 mana total.
Yeah, well...
5 mana total.
It's just great.
But for like 12 damage.
Yeah.
Potentially. Obviously that's best case scenario.
I don't know if this will see play, but like maybe 1 or 2 of.
I think it's worth looking at.
We'll see it at F&M.
I mean,
sure.
Burn is going to absolutely love this card.
It really
will.
And
Rabble Red, which is totally a deck at the moment, is like half burn, half creature.
Yeah.
So you've got the creatures to enable the raid, and then it just makes the burn part
better
of your deck amazing.
Yeah.
So
don't can it out.
But even without the raid, it's a good card. I think.
Yes, it is. It's pretty cool. Let's move on to a cycle, and a cycle with a little bit of a new look to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Love what they've done to the modal cards.
Yeah, we're going on to the charms, which are obviously going to be a cycle, because they always are.
Yeah, I think looking at this makes you appreciate how messy the previous modal cards were.
So this is the Sultai charm, so we've got the Sultai Brood. So it's... I mean, we've seen this mana cost so much already, the one of each colour.
Yeah, it's really nice.
They've got the rare cycle.
I just love seeing it, man. I just really love seeing it.
So we've got black, green, blue. Choose one. Dash. Bullet point. Destroy target monocoloured creature. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card.
So you've seen... I mean, if you've been playing for any amount of time, you've seen charms from Ravnica. They're all good. Some are better than others, yeah, but they're all good. They're all good utility, always useful.
But they were so messy.
Yeah, a horrible mess to read. Absolutely.
And now it's not, and they're still so cool.
Yeah.
They still have cool abilities. They're all going to be relevant at some point.
Some charms will see standard play.
This one will.
This one will. There's absolutely no question.
We've got artifacts and enchantments.
Yeah.
Well, more enchantments and artifacts at the moment
Mm-hmm.
that are relevant to get rid of. Monocoloured creatures, we've seen plenty. Here, even though it's a multicoloured block, we've seen plenty of monocoloured creatures, and there are plenty of monocoloured creatures that are deadly in standard anyway.
Yeah.
And drawing 2 cards and discarding a card.
Not one of the cards you drew.
You can just get rid of something.
So if
and
you've
again,
got
you're delving. This thing's ridiculous.
If you've got like a dead card in your hand, draw 2, discard that card. It's good.
Fine.
It's good.
And if you draw a dead card out of the 2, just discard that.
I mean, what I really appreciate about the charms that we've got at the moment is maybe Boros Charm is a bit broken.
Boros Charm's too high.
But,
I mean, Boros Charm and Golgari Charm are
Golgari Charm's
probably the best two.
Golgari Charm's probably the second best, but it's way more situational than Boros Charm. Boros, if you're playing red white, you play Boros Charm.
Yes, you do.
But
if you play red, you play Boros Charm.
I really like about the charms is they're a decent tool set and they're pretty useful, but just.
It's the one thing from Ravnica I'm glad we're not getting rid of is a cycle of charms.
Yeah,
and I think Sultai
super
Charms
flavourful
really
as well.
good.
I mean, we don't know a lot about the clans of Tarkir yet, but
Sultai looks badass. I'm going to say that.
Jeskai Wind Scout. It's
great
a
card.
2U for a 2/1, which is pretty bad, but
Flying.
it's a flyer as well, so it's not
it's really good.
It's pretty good. It's a common. With prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 so that's good.
Again, great. Let's go for the mono bird deck, bird shamans, bird scouts.
I told you it's real.
Honestly,
blue bird tribal.
Draft these like your life depends on it if you want to play blue.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be playing non-creatures quite a lot with blue, maybe some bounce.
Blue obviously
some
has
enchantments.
Blue has no shortage of
but blue's that thing. Draw card spells. Make this a 3/2 flyer. Swing in the face. It's really good. It acts as one of those sort of aggro creatures blue desperately needs. Not sure if this one will see standard over the other blue creature we saw before.
No.
But I mean, this is very, very good for limited. Really good.
I think that prowess is, out of all of the abilities of the clans, I think prowess is probably the one, from looking at it at the moment, is the most likely to get bursted.
Yes. Because there's so many.
It's the most abusable.
And if you've got multiple creatures, I mean, say for example you've got 4 creatures, you just play a 1-mana spell, and they've all jumped up by one.
So
it's an extra 4 damage.
Yeah.
Just for like playing, I don't know, draw 1 card.
It's a nice sort of like counterpoint to Outlast as well, which is sort of like more costly but lasts longer.
And it does give blue.
Outlast.
Yeah,
I've just got it.
Yeah, idiot. I mean, it does give blue again some more aggro tools, which I think is quite cool that blue's becoming sort of an aggro deck.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's already there, isn't it? The whole mono blue at the moment, just like it's flood and swing.
Yes.
It? So
pretty cool. Let's move on. Abzan Guide. What is he riding?
I don't know. Giraffe.
Like a mutant giraffe, really hairy giraffe. So Abzan Guide, obviously in the Abzan tribe.
Is he holding Sword of Feast of Famine? What is
I
that?
wish he was.
Imagine.
Is Sword of Feast of Famine get reprinted? No, it's
It's not.
You heard it here first, folks. It's not going to get reprinted.
Go ahead, buddy.
So 3/1 white, black, and green. It's a 4/4 lifelink. It's pretty cool. You can cast it face down as it's a morph creature for 3 as a 2/2, and then turn it up for 5 mana.
Absolutely no ability for when it turns face up, but I suppose the idea being you turn this up and lifelink.
Surprise someone.
Yeah,
with some lifelink, with a 4/4.
Yeah, surprise! I killed your creature and gained 4 life.
It's there to surprise them. The colours are beautiful in this art.
It is
Look at
very,
the cool
very
sunset.
nice art.
It's cool.
But
I mean,
I mean, this is a common. It's pretty below average.
Not going to see standard play with
no
no
not
way.
on your Nelly. But again, it just shows off how cool Morph is.
Yeah, because you can surprise someone if they attack with a 3/3. You just go. Actually, no, I've got a 4/4 lifelink. I actually gain 4 life now.
Yeah.
So screw you.
Yeah.
And then next turn you can swing with a 4/4 lifelinker. So that's pretty cool.
We're sort of getting towards the end here now.
We are. We've got I think a total now of 6 cards. I think left because I think we've got a couple from down below we skipped out.
So Temur Ascendancy.
So actually thinking about it, because this looks like it's in that sort of rare triple coloured thing.
Yeah.
That they're not all going to be.
Well, maybe because June Blast is a sorcery and has the 3 colours, but it's not. No, it'll just if there's a cycle, it will just be.
No, because there is
blah, blah, blah.
the one of the tribes has it. If you go scroll down a second, Crackling Doom.
Yes.
So Crackling Doom's the instant one of the cycle. Maybe they're going to do one of each cycle.
Maybe. I mean, that would be nice.
That'd be nice. But here we go. This is a Timur.
GUR for an enchantment. Creatures you control have haste, so
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. It's always good on an enchantment. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card.
Does everything Timur seems like it wants to do. Big creatures. Yeah. It's the big icy clan clambering over the icicles and coming to fuck your face up. All the creatures have haste, and when you play a big creature, you get to draw a card. It's simple. That's
pretty cool for 3 mana.
It is good. It's very cost efficient. Very cost efficient because
haste
you see
is underrated.
Haste is very underrated, and I mean green and blue are 2 colours that need haste.
Yes.
To really act well. Red obviously is the colour of haste, and so it does it most of the time anyway.
But this is giving haste to green. That's deadly.
Haste to green is very. In fact, I'm thinking.
And blue. I mean, blue's always had flash, which is like almost like haste.
Almost
you
like
can
haste,
flash
but
in
not quite.
At the end of the turn.
But this thing's great. It depends how good, how well people can fix mana. Although we already know it's going to be quite easy.
Yeah, presumably.
But this may see play. I'm not going to say it will. But
maybe.
It's good.
It's
very good.
I hate saying this. It sounds like a cop-out, but I think this is EDH playable.
Yes, it is.
Although there's a lot of enchantments that give creatures haste, which are a bit cheaper than this.
Yes.
Like there's one from Future Sight that's an enchant creature. The Warmind thing. Yeah.
Something of the Warmind.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's very good though for those 2 abilities for 3 mana. It's very good.
So. We're on to our first legendary creature, and I believe our first Khan of Tarkir.
It is Zurgo Helm Smasher.
Zurgo Helm Smasher. So
he's a brute.
They're going to be getting all of the Khans straight in the first set. There's speculation that the second and third sets aren't going to be wedge based.
Yes, so they're going to be sort of more mono-y coloured things.
Yes.
Before the Khans sort of spread and did all this sort of stuff.
So anyway, Zurgo Helm Smasher, 2 red, white, black. He's a 7/2.
What a weird body for a start.
Well, yeah.
But
I guess the idea is that he's sort of like
he's just mental.
Doesn't care about his own well-being.
No.
So he's got haste. He attacks at each combat if able. He has indestructible as long as it's your turn. So he can't be burnt on your turn.
No.
So that 2 body suddenly not looking like such a
And whenever a creature dies that's dealt damage by Zurgo, you put a 1/1 counter on him. So I mean, you're basically saying block him and he gets bigger and out of the way of your burn, or take 7.
So if you want to like burn this guy down, you're gonna have to do it on your own turn. You're gonna have to waste mana on your turn doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's good in itself because you're actually gonna be able to get one attack at least in with this guy before they even get a chance to respond to him. Because
I mean, 7 is pretty a lot.
It is
standard.
5 mana.
Yeah,
it's good and indestructible, and I mean, as I say, he gets at least one attack himself.
Yeah.
Before he gets a chance to be burnt away or exiled or destroyed or anything, because he can't be.
Block him at your peril, he gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's
only block him if you have got a lightning strike. Let's put it that way.
He's not completely ass open busted,
but he's
pretty
beasty.
But he's good and he's flavourful as hell. And the Timmy in me absolutely loves it.
I mean, again, with all the sort of Khan colours and all the tribal colours, depends on how good that particular tribe is.
I mean, he's in white, so he plays into the +1/+1 counter business that we were talking about before.
Again, so there's that cross-pollination.
So yeah, he's got haste, but
he can also have first strike.
He can untap, he can have first strike.
Oh man!
I mean, let me just go check on that elephant down at the bottom there. Is it in? No, it's not in the right colours. Damn it!
I mean,
who knows? I mean, you could give him first strike easy.
Yeah, first strike's one of the things we definitely know we can give him very easily. But let's move on to. Oh, yes.
If you were worried about Delve being hard to achieve, don't.
Sidisi, Brood Tyrant. Good lord, a 3/3 for 4 on its own is okay. 1, and then the colours of that tribe, which is black, green, and blue. Whenever Sidisi Brood Tyrant enters the battlefield or attacks, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So you're milling yourself 3 when this attacks, or when it enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
And whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from the battlefield, from your library, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. They don't come in tapped, which is something I love because I hate them when they come in tapped because they always seem to come in tapped.
Yeah.
So they don't come in tapped, and it's 1 or more. So if it's like 2 creatures, it doesn't stack. Because it's 1 or more.
If unanswered, this just gets out of hand.
Yeah, it really, really does.
I mean, I assume that this clan is going to have a lot of milling effects. So,
yes.
So whenever she enters the battlefield, obviously, if you turn over a creature card, you get a 2/2 zombie. Next turn, if you attack, you can possibly get a 2/2 zombie. Then, if you play some kind of mill spell, you possibly get a 2/2 zombie.
And then you can go, actually, I haven't done yet, and I'll just delve this big demon out.
Yes. With all those cards that you've put into your graveyard. I mean,
and then you've also got a couple of black zombies to boot.
I mean, Delve is real. Delve is real. Don't sort of be put off by Delve because you think it sounds a bit like Degenerate. A Delve is very real.
It really is. Let's move on before I mean, that art is just horrible. Let's move on before I wet myself because that Naga Shaman is killing me.
Narset Enlightened Master. I really like this card.
It's nuts.
It's 3 URW for a 3/2 first strike hexproof. So 6 for a 3/2 first strike hexproof. It is on the cusp.
Yes, it is, because hexproof is incredibly difficult to deal with.
Yes.
And first strike makes it even more difficult to deal with because you can't kill it often with combat.
But however, whenever Narset Enlightened Master attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast non-creature cards exiled with Narset this turn without paying their mana costs.
Busted.
And this is red.
Busted. Absolutely busted.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
I think this is the most obviously amazing of those
obviously
3.
pushed one.
Yeah.
Because you'd usually see this effect.
This is
on 7-8 mana enchantments.
This is in blue, white, and red. No shortage of awesome sorceries or instants.
Generator Servant.
Oh, it's non-creatures.
No, but Generator Servant.
Oh, right, into it.
Generator Serving into Narset.
Oh,
makes her 4 mana. Makes her 4 mana 3/2 first strike hexproof.
It's just good.
And it's attacking, and so it'll get that ability straight away, and you can pay its mana cost. How about that?
This is build around. I mean,
I'm saying it now. Generator Servant into this turn 4. Ugh.
I mean,
it's really
they've obviously cost it so high to put people off.
Yeah, but don't be put off.
But don't be put off.
There's ways to get this out.
There is minimal
amount
of ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, Generator Servant.
Generator Servant's going to make this good. I'd love to say in standard. I don't know if it will.
I mean, it's not as if blue and white isn't currently known for stalling the game as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see blue and white get to 8, 9, 10 mana
easily. I know we're losing Sphinx's Rev for blue-white, which is a good thing.
But Sphinx's Rev doesn't necessarily have to, unless you're against like the most aggro of aggro decks.
No.
A decent blue-white deck will survive until 6 mana.
Yeah.
Without Sphinx's Rev.
I know, and if you are playing in this, because as I say, Generate Servant gets this out turn 4,
Even
attacking.
quicker. Yeah, exactly. So this is awesome. I love
really
this card.
is.
So
Let's scroll back down before we go on to this guy.
This is a big plot point now. Now, we've talked about Ugin's Nexus and how Ugin, the spirit dragon who was one of the planeswalkers and possibly the most important planeswalker for sealing away the Eldrazi
yes.
on Zendikar, has died. Now...
Here you lie then, Ugin. The corpses of worlds will join you in the tomb. Sorin Markov. So Sorin Markov is back, and we're not going to look at him straight away.
No, we'll look
because we're going to look at Bitter Revelation.
Now, Bitter Revelations are common. Obviously, this isn't the flashiest spell. The reason we put this at the end is just for the pure loregasm. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand. The rest into your graveyard. You lose 2 life. This is for Delve. It's draw 2, lose 2, feed 2 to Delve. It's good.
Limited. This is a great draw spell.
If you're building around it, I can't tell you if this is going to be in standard or not.
I don't think it will be.
No,
because it's just. If it was 3 mana, yes, it would. If it was 4 mana but an instant, it would.
Yeah.
However, in limited, to get 2 cards for 2 life and put 2 into the graveyard for Delve is great.
Yeah.
And drawing 2 cards for 4 mana and 2 life in limited is actually pretty good. But I mean, let's go and have a look at him himself.
So Sorin has come to Tarkir to seek Ugin, we presume, to ask for his help in getting rid of sealing away the Eldrazi once again.
Yes, they originally helped each other out. So
yes.
The original 3 that sealed the Eldrazi were Ugin, Sorin, and the unnamed Lithiomancer.
Yes.
Who we don't know who that is yet. Will we find out in this box? Who knows?
There's potential. So Sorin has come to Tarkir and obviously found what he wanted, but that hasn't exactly helped him because what he found was
a
dead spirit dragon.
And you can see him there among the corpse of Ugin's bones by the looks of it, as Sorin, possibly. Solemn Visitor. And I'll let you take this because I know you really like Sorin.
Yeah, I really do. So it's 2 WB for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. Now his +1
is probably one of the best +1s I've seen in a long time.
You really like it, then?
I think this +1 it makes black-white tokens.
Black-white tokens, yeah.
A possibility.
Yeah, definitely. Until your next turn, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink. So that's
not until the end of turn. Until your next turn.
Yeah. So
real good.
Even with blocks on the opponent's first turn, it's really good. Anyway, his -2 is put a 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Now, losing 2 loyalty for a 2/2 flyer in a pinch. I mean, it's good utility. Sure.
Yes.
And his -6 is you get an emblem with at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep that player sacrifices a creature.
It's an easy loyalty to get to.
Yeah.
And this is why it doesn't seem flashy, because it's about making planeswalkers less overpowered. The ability isn't necessarily overpowered. Yes, it's powerful.
Yes.
And it's easier to get to.
But it's not Domri Raid. It's not. Yeah. It's not Mentor of Heroes. It's not.
It's just. It's simple to get to. It has a powerful effect that's not broke.
Yes.
And that's better than having some crazy ability. Alex's cat's going nuts.
Cat! Come here. Come here. Push.
Craig, push.
So that's not our only... so obviously that... I love the lore behind all of this. I mean, Sorin's come and he's the solemn visitor. He's found that Ugin, the guy that helped him, the planeswalker that helped him seal away the Eldrazi all that time ago, has died.
It's probably one of the only people Sorin could ever call a friend as well.
Yeah, and Sorin thinks the multiverse is fucked.
I mean, yeah.
The Eldrazi, as far as he thinks, is now completely unstoppable.
Do you know what? As well, this also shows as well. It's the second black-white Sorin that we've had recently in recent sets.
Yeah.
And so this really does show perhaps that Sorin has this sort of heart of gold sort of thing.
Yes.
Although he does things evilly and without perhaps remorse, a lot of things. He's very sort of straight-minded and just does what he wants to do. He's not mono-black anymore.
No.
He's got this... He's seen the world for what it is, and perhaps he's coming to terms with his own morality a bit more.
Yeah.
And he just seems like he's lost a bit of his stoniness.
Now, on to our last card our last spoiler.
It's been a journey.
And my favourite Planeswalker. He's probably my favourite Planeswalker, actually. I'll just stop myself in that sentence midway.
Okay.
He's probably my favourite Planeswalker. Not this card, I mean, like, the character.
He's badass.
Yeah, so it's Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker. Sarkhan's super duper important to the lore. Anything to do with dragons ever in Magic, Sarkhan is, at the centre of it.
Yes.
Now, the Planeswalker is 3 RR for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, and his +1 ability, which is super awesome.
Again, will see play simply for the fact that this ability is ridiculous.
Until end of turn, Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker becomes a legendary 4/4 red dragon creature with flying, indestructible, and haste. He doesn't lose his loyalty while he's not a Planeswalker. Which
I like
is
that they've put that.
Yeah, because
people got a bit confused with
but
Gideon.
Yeah, people got a bit. Yeah, so that's just for clarity's sake. So he becomes a 4/4 with flying, indestructible, and haste. And it's this. I mean, we said this the other day. This curves perfectly with Crucible of Fire.
It really does.
Which was recently printed in M15, which gives dragons +3/+3.
Yeah.
So you get 7/7 fire.
7/7 fire on turn, fly that's indestructible and hasty.
Yeah.
It's pretty nasty. Maybe someone's going to go with a dragon sort of theme somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it can happen.
Yeah. So -3, Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker deals 4 to target creature, which
in a pinch it's fine. I mean, it's a bit of an underwhelming.
4's a good number though.
4's a good number. It's an underwhelming -3, but it has to be.
Yeah.
Because 4 damage is good.
Yes.
3 damage is good. 2 damage is bad a lot of the time. But
early game good. But 4 is 4 damage.
It's a good amount.
Is rare. Just like 4 targetable damage.
Yes,
is rare.
it is good.
And then his ultimate, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your draw step, draw 2 additional cards, and at the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. So this is pretty typical for Sarkhan. Sarkhan the mad. Sarkhan the...
Yeah. He always hears voices. He's like he's the Randy Orton of the, of the Magic the Gathering world.
So obviously this plays into red. It plays into Sarkhan's character very well. Like he's impulsive. Red as a colour, like philosophy, is like very impulsive, and it's just like, what have I got? What can I use? Don't need it. Didn't use it. Bullshit. Draw more. Like, it's right though, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you might see that emblem and think like, oh, bad, but
it's not really.
It's not. It's good for what it wants to do.
You draw 2 additional cards, get to use them until the end of turn, then you have to get rid of your whole hand.
Yeah.
But why would that matter?
I mean,
when you're playing red and you try to throw as much stuff.
If you're playing red, you might be top decking by the time you get this guy
exactly.
Anyway. So,
and this actually gives you 2 additional cards that you probably wouldn't have had otherwise.
I mean, in a burn deck, this is not a bad thing if if you're pretty reliably going to be pulling burn, like 2 burn spells a turn.
Yeah.
Like, use them, nothing to discard at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
So, but time will tell. On every card that we just reviewed, I guess. Time will tell how awesome they're going to be. But I do know this: Khans of Tarkir is going to be super fucking awesome.
It is. It's going to be one hell of a journey, guys. So make sure to stay with us here in zlatanobojmtg to follow us on this journey through Khans of Tarkir. We'll be doing more spoiler reviews when they come out. We'll be talking about the flavour behind the set, what's coming up, and what we think's going to be happening.
Which we're both really excited for.
We really are.
I mean, because everything to do with Ugin and Sarkhan and Sora and everything. I mean, we're both really into the Eldrazi.
Oh yeah.
Probably my favourite villains. You might think the Phyrexians, but
I think for me Phyrexians,
yeah,
but I mean,
I love
the Eldrazi are nuts.
So
yeah, not only are we going to be sticking with Tarkir, though, we're going to be doing some more M15 stuff. We've got some sealed gameplay for you on M15. We've got some booster boxes for you on M15.
Yeah.
We have got some more crazy skits because we know you guys love them.
I love doing them.
We love doing them.
I'm hoping to get picked up by an agency.
A sex agency.
Yeah, baby.
And we've also got something quite cool coming up as well, which is a sort of a walkthrough on how to begin Magic and how to play Magic.
Yeah, because you'd be surprised how hard it is to find. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, chances are you're not a new Magic player. You already know probably more than us, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to find like something succinct and like that easily explains how to play Magic, because Magic is a complex game.
It is.
So we've decided to we're going to do a 4-part walkthrough series. So
we are.
Look forward to that.
And also on top of that, let's just mention finally, due to popular demand, we are going to be doing our expensive EDH decks.
Yeah, we're going to do detailed deck analysis of both of our EDH decks.
We've got your Marquesa, the Black Rose EDH deck,
absolutely
and
beautiful.
my mono green Sashira, the Anointed Snake EDH deck.
So
look forward to all of that, guys, coming soon. zlatanobojmtg. As for now, I've been Noah, and this fat little shit next to me has been Alex. Just thought I'd echo what you were saying at the start there.
Thanks, mate.
We've come full circle. I've come in circles.
I've
I
come
don't know what that means.
on my legs. Bye!
See you guys.